Thank you for all of you coming from other clubs, Candy, Nancy, everyone. Good to see you all here. Thanks for choosing this day to do that. Thank you for being here with us, Dr. Holmes. This is an auspicious occasion. I can't wait to hear what you've got to say about the programs of the local schools. That's terrific. We have a fun group. We do a lot of unique and fun things at our meetings. So if you're new to us, you haven't been here before, just grab a seat, hold on for dear life, because here we go. All right, so after the prayer, we usually do a thing called Secret Greeter. Secret Greeter is where somebody identifies themselves or is identified as the person who was a secret to them. It was a secret to us. We didn't know who it was. We just designate somebody, and they will tell on you or not tell on you if you did not shake their hand. All right? So, usually I have Jan pick one out. I think what I'll do is I'll pick Margie out. Margie, you are the secret greeter. Did anyone not shake your hand?
Well, if they didn't, it wasn't their fault. It was mine.
Oh! Are you handing up $1 for that then?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, Margie. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot. All right, now we do a thing called Happy Dollars. And Laura is usually our MC for this. So she'll walk around if you have a happy dollar where you want to pontificate a specific event that was happy for you. Please keep your trip itineraries to a minimum. And just tell us what you're happy about. She'll go around to everybody. I usually end up with the last happy dollar.
Okay, Margie, Woo!
I've been gone 11 days. I still have jet lag. I keep waking up at 5 in the morning. But I am happy. I got to see my son in Houston, my sisters. We went down to Vista National Park. I am now at 40 out of 62 national parks. And the bucket list is just getting checked off. I'm also happy to see Dr. Holmes here. Worked with him when I was on the Bond Oversight Committee very closely. He's a great guy, and nice to see everybody. Woohoo!
Okay, Fred?
On October of last year, my wife was using the weed whacker out the back of the house, and a stone went into our sliding glass door and shattered the glass. We've been waiting since October, and the door was installed this morning.
Yay! Okay, Margie.
I'm one happy dollar for everybody around here, and I'm sorry if I didn't shake your hand. And, this is just a happy dollar for Steve. He's working hard to get those signatures for the mayors to get on the ballot. So if you haven't done that, I've got somewhere here you can sign. And also there are cards he's holding up. Steve has a bunch of those. And on the back, it talks about things he's interested in, and then also has a little, what you call it?
It's just that little pink piece of paper, so if you just want to take that
Just
for
put
you.
your camera on that, it will take you immediately to his webpage where you can sign his petition to allow him to run.
Thank you.
I'm here to help. Go.
I forgot a happy dollar. This is a really happy one.
Well, we're happy to take your money, too.
Roy Zuckerman just handed me his application to be a new member of the Kiwanis Club Sierra Vista. I gave you 5. I'm good.
My happy dollars are, we have 5 members from our club that are here today, and I am so happy that you always share your programs and the activities that you do, kind of like our sister club in a sense in this town. So we appreciate everything that you do with us and without us, and thank you.
Yes.
Okay, who's next out there? Okay. Miss Sun. Okay, Sharon?
I'm not a member of your club, but surgery went great and flat back.
We can't hear you.
So I am very happy.
She says she's happy that the surgery went well for Dawn, and the flight back was uneventful too.
Yay!
Say again?
A bus. Airlines are not driving buses.
No, she was hardcore with wheelchairs and stuff, because what we started out in Nashville, it used to be a little podunk airport when she was there, when she worked at the college, and we got there and I thought I could walk it, but it was too far. So I wheelchaired there, and Sky Harbor worked out really well. You want me to go ahead and do mine?
Yes.
Well, one, Sharon's been great. Tough taskmaster. This is for Dr. Holmes. Thank you for being here today. And I got to tell you, if you got to have heart surgery, do it robotically, because it worked out very well. But I will share this with you. I never had so many tubes, a ventilator, a TEE down my throat, and I still haven't got my voice back yet because when the nurse tried to pull it out, she dropped it back down again. But robotically is the way to go, and the doctor, Rob posted, if you want to know why we flew to Paducah, Kentucky, and Rob used to be at Las Cruces. He started this in about 2009 with Dr. Gonzalez up at Banner, well, what was Banner? The old U of A hospital. And so just to show you don't, I think I'm old and I had this. The guy, he didn't want to bypass for a guy 48 years old. The day after he did, repaired my mitral valve. So he's quite a guy. I can't say I enjoyed it. I'm glad it's over with, but of all the surgeries I've had, this is by far the worst.
You got to see your daughter.
Yeah, we got to see our daughter and son-in-law for 4 days. We probably should have done it backwards and spent more time there, but I was in ICU 4 days, left, stayed at the hotel 2 days, saw the doctor the third day, released me, and we drove back to Nashville and flew out on the 20th.
I had it to do over again, we would have stayed an extra 3 or 4 days.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the extra effort to be here today. That's awesome.
Okay. Ron?
Well, he's already back, like we talked about, got Don's report, and he's already working for Kiwanis. He's got our Adopt a Highway set up for Saturday week, 7:45 at Tractor Supply, so need to support that. Don, we appreciate you setting that up for us. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Candy?
Candy.
Well, it's always a pleasure to visit you guys. I'm happy to be here, and I did enjoy your bunko. I just wanted to put that word out. Haven't forgotten, so anyway. And Dawn, I'm glad you're okay. It's fun to have to be here. Your club is sure grown. Welcome to your new member. And I'm just happy. Thank you.
As you all know, project graduation is coming up May 26th. I hope you know. This year, our campaign for Kiwanis is sponsoring the Gifts Galore store, where every senior, every graduate that attends will get a lovely gift donated by members of the community.
Woo!
So let me know if you want to contribute.
It's in our budget. We'll be shopping.
Okay, anyone else out there?
You got the happy dollars. Chuck, you got two. I see them.
Okay, Chuck.
We don't leave any dollars on the table.
I wouldn't leave any dollars on it. My $2 are for next Thursday is the National Day of Prayer. And there'll be a prayer time and a breakfast at Village Meadows Baptist Church. And it will be a catered breakfast by Landmark. $5 donation to get the breakfast. And that's at 7 o'clock. And then at 12 noon, there's a National Day of Prayer gathering at the City Hall, right there in the grassy area. And that's for an hour also. So take your choice and join us for the National Day of Prayer.
All right. Anyone else? Anybody?
Me, and then you.
Okay, Laura.
Okay, my first happy dollar is for, I guess you might say, one of our Kiwanis moments. Last Friday, I was giving out Buck Awards to Mrs. Rivera's kindergarten class over at Town and Country. And all year long, I've been reading to her class because She used to be a preschool teacher, and then when she moved up to preschool, she liked our reading program so much, she asked if we could do it with the kindergarten class. So I've been reading over there all year and then giving out the bug awards. And the kids were so cute because when they got a bug award, everybody cheered and everybody. And so at the end, they gave me this little certificate thing.
Aww.
And it says, "Thank you, Kiwanis Club. We appreciate you, Mrs. Haranis' class." And you can see there's little hearts circled on it. But what you might not tell is inside the little hearts are little fingerprints of the kids. So I really enjoyed that moment. Okay, so then my next happy dollar is the thank you letters are done. So I'm passing them out. 85 letters, and they're all done. So the ones
For Bunko.
because we, give you thank you letters for the merchants and stuff for their tax donation. So those are all done. Okay, my next dollar is a Can You Help Don Out award because he does not need to be out delivering his letters. So if I could have some volunteers to help deliver his letters. Let's see here. This one, next dollar is, I forgot to, last time because my brain was still shut down from Bunko, but I forgot to thank the club for the beautiful trophy award things that you guys gave me at Bunko. That was very meaningful, and so I appreciate it. And so we'll continue next year and have another big year. And let's see here, there was one more.
Oh, wait, there's one more. Sure. Isn't there a picture in the paper?
I got it right here. I was going to wait to see if she
Well,
got
she's
it.
got her money out.
Oh, wait, no, I paid that last time.
Okay.
Are
That
you
was
sure?
Janelle, did I not pay the $1 last week for that picture? Yes.
Okay.
All right. If you want to pay again, though, you can.
Okay, and my last dollar is I'm still on the mystery of my bathroom because the guys from Perel Construction came out yesterday because I'm told that, I have water under my tile and all that stuff, and it was going to have to be all torn up and everything. But then he comes out yesterday, and he's sitting there, and you can hear water running in my house. You can stand in the bathroom and you can hear water running. But I got my water bill for the month, but it was only $37. So there's something going on in the walls of my house, and I don't know. So the plumber guy's coming back out today. So maybe I'll find out something today.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
Here's
about
your resolution.
$10,000.
All right, on the one hand, I'm glad you didn't show that to me when I was over picking up stuff for Bunko at your house, because I hate doing plumbing. All right, so I'm going to have to give you my happy dollars afterwards. I only have a $20 bill. So,
Probably make change.
probably can afterwards. She's got it already, right?
I got 20-something.
Oh, good. Here, why don't you take my 20 and why don't you count them off to me, give me back $1 or so. I'm imagining that's what you're going to do.
You want $1 back?
That's what I thought you'd do.
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Here's my happy dollars. Austin, you start off with the big one first. Try to hold it together. My son is a vet, and he returned from Afghanistan, having gone there twice. And he was mentally broken in several ways, and had a relapse of that 2 weeks ago. You're my family, I feel I can share this with you, so I'm going to tell you. He had to go into behavioral health, but here's what I'm happy about. He took himself. He decided to go. He didn't have to have an event that made him go. And he's doing much better today. So I'm very happy that he's growing up, and he's okay today. I'm moderately happy that my daughter still wants me to move her from Virginia to Montana. Still hasn't set the date. And it's going to be sometime in July, so we'll be playing catch as catch can on that particular thing. I am supremely happy about Bunko. I can't tell you enough. It took me 2 days to recover from the energy expended there on my behalf, on your behalf. I don't know how long, my voice, I didn't have the voice the next 2 days. But I didn't do anything. That's unlikely. Usually I've got projects going on and I would have committed to those, but I was completely wasted after Bunko, and it was a good kind of wasted. So, thanks for doing that. A couple of great notes came from two. Next year is going to be even more spectacular than this last one, and I promise we'll have plenty of water for everyone. Wow. Okay, I'm very happy to be supporting Steve Conroy for mayor, and I've got several signatures already for him. They allowed me to do that at work, which is a novelty. I didn't know they would. So I went through the process of getting permission. I recommend to you too to get permission so you can get signatures on his behalf. Many hands make the work light. We have many hands here. We all know and love Steve. We know what he's made of, what his platform is. I'm glad that he articulates it on the back of this. This is helpful to us too. I want to get behind him for a lot of reasons, if nothing else than the person who would naturally fall in the position of somebody I don't want to see in that position, and I'll leave it at that. So Steve is outstanding, and you know what he's made out of his character. I encourage you to get behind him too. There. Use my platform for good. And my good friend Paul is here from Salt Lake City again. He decided to spend 5 weeks with me, so he's helping me with my ranch. So that's what we do with Happy Dollars. Those of you who are new to this, I encourage you to do the same kind of thing. Not only do you get the word out about what your projects are, and a lot of us here have SLPs that we're responsible for, this is how we share that information, and plus up the coffers too in our administrative funds. Very useful thing. All right. Well, wonderful that we've got guests. I love that, Nancy, you brought so many people here to play with us. Ms. Hanson, our Lieutenant Governor, is here. More or less presiding, I would guess, because you outrank everyone here for the moment. How does that feel?
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Normally we would have something called the marble game, but Patrick's not here. He's the one who conducts the marble game. And that's also an administrative fund promoting game where we do a 50-50 to buy tickets and then reach in for the marble and hopefully win the pot. It's not going to happen today, though. All right, last week our Kiwanian of the moment was Bruce. I know there's a typo. I put down Fred. I'm sorry, Fred. Bruce, our special guest today. It's an inside joke. Was the Kiwanian of the moment last meeting and is now going to present to the Kiwanian of the moment for this meeting. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's to everybody's fun Bunko. Here's to Laura for all she did last week.
The Bunko Queen.
The Bunko Queen.
Absolutely.
She did an awesome job, and I think we raised like $9,400, something like that.
$9,000.
Okay, look at this.
Yeah, that's profit, not after expenses, but profit.
Yeah.
That's net.
Right.
How much?
Yeah.
That's net.
Not 9,000.
That's a significant emotional event because I think we need to really reevaluate our distribution for scholarships this year. We're at $500 that we contribute to those who are awarded scholarships from our club. We're likely going to change that, and that will help make that choice easier. Not that I've decided that, I'm just saying I think it's just a conversation we'll have at our next board meeting. All right, so now it's time for us to vote on our bylaws and our nominees. Now, this is information you've already received. I'm not going to go over the bylaw changes. I'm going to go over the nominees again. You should already know. Anybody here not know about the nominees or the bylaws? Go ahead.
I don't know who the nominees are. It was not emailed out. It was announced at the last meeting and I wasn't here.
You weren't here, so you don't know.
So could you announce it again?
And I wasn't, I couldn't hear.
You weren't here either. Okay, it was the nominees for the next board members. I'm trying to call it off the top of my head because I left that firmly in Steve's hands. So, me for president. Who's my vice president?
Steve.
Steve is, yeah, that's right.
Basically right here with Kevin.
It's pretty much the same. It's Laura's going to be the secretary again. I'm sorry, Jan's going to be secretary again.
Past president.
Past president, stays past president. We've got Sabina is going to be on the board.
Oh, good.
Right, Sabina, a brand new member is going to be on the board. I cannot remember who else.
Cheryl and Don, I think.
Is that right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that correct,
Cheryl.
Don?
Don.
You're still on the board with Sabina and
Cheryl's still.
I
her
think
board
so.
member.
Yes.
I think, I don't know for sure.
Dude, I don't remember either. Come on, again,
You don't
there's
have
a reason I
I
delegate
wasn't
things.
sure about Don.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Nobody's
So,
sure about that.
That's true, nobody's sure about
I
that.
should point of order, I will not vote on the nominees at this time.
Yes.
So that we
I
have
move they
time.
be accepted as presented.
Okay, on the bylaws, let's vote on that. All those in favor of the bylaws as represented and was mailed out to you. We can't do the nominees because we didn't meet the letter of the law, which is to get that out by email. I'm going to just put it off for another meeting, okay? She's my past president, so I look to her to advise me whenever I really step off the cliff. So we're going to vote on the nominees, but we will vote later. We'll vote on the bylaws now, because I know those were emailed to everyone. So all in favor of the bylaw change, which essentially just limited our terms to 1 year for every move out, and spoke to how we pay for our dues and the requirements for that. Please say aye. Raise your hand. All in favor, raise your hand. Good job. Same sign, those against. I see it's unanimous, this motion carries, and we'll vote on the nominees at our next meeting after we send out the list. There we go. Wow, that was, I was supposed to be impressive today. I didn't do a very impressive job. All right. So we've got the bylaws handled, nominees now. All right. Marge, Ms. Carruthers, if you will please introduce to us our guest speaker today, as you are the subject matter expert on him.
Well, I don't know about that. I told him I don't have an official bio. I've seen it, but I don't have it in my head. But I can tell you I work closely with Dr. Eric Holmes. I believe this is about your 4th year as superintendent. 3rd?
That's it.
No.
You can't COVID.
Yeah, 2020.
Anyway, I worked with him. He has the most challenging job in the school district, and he has done an excellent job, and I would like you to give him a warm welcome as he tells us a little bit about himself.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi. And I would say for those of us deaf and the people in the back, if you speak up, sir, that'd be eternally grateful.
Yes, I will.
Just wanted to point me out.
Okay.
It's mainly Marge.
So you are my...
Mainly me.
Sorry, we forgot to slip her.
No problem. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I think I spoke to this organization before.
Online.
Yes.
Online.
Online.
In the middle of COVID. And it's interesting that you think I was here for 4 years because it feels like I've been here for 4 years.
It's COVID effect.
Yes, it is. But thank you again, and thank you for having me for lunch. It was delicious. A little quick meatloaf story. My wife and I were in Bisbee at the Copper Queen Hotel. And we're sitting out on the balcony, and we're having an adult beverage. It's a beautiful day. And the person sitting at the table next to us was the owner of I guess the restaurant's called The Table.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And she and the guy was next to her, and we told him we were from out of town and we were new to the area. And she said, "We have to come and try our meatloaf. It's the best meatloaf around." So the next time we were in Disney, which was maybe 3 or 4 months later, we made a beeline for this place. Of course, they were out of meatloaf. So we were there a few weeks ago, and I said, "You know what? We're going to go there, and we're going to get this meatloaf if I have to sit here all day long to eat it." So we went, got the meatloaf. It was delicious, but it wasn't as good as this meatloaf we had. So, kudos to whoever made it. So we're going to get started here. And that circle is something that the board and the administration worked on for about 6 months. And it may not seem like it's a whole lot, but when you take everything you do in a school district and you sort of drill it down to a handful of things, you really have to have a whole lot of cooperation. Because what you see in the orange is what the administration came up with as our core values. And what's in the green is what the school board decided. And so we wanted to make sure that whatever we had fit under their umbrella. But the most important part is the center, and that is student achievement, because that's why we're all there. We're not there to placate adults, we're there to make sure the kids get what they need. So everything that we do, all of our projects, all of our initiatives, comes down to one simple thing, and that is student achievement. So if it doesn't lead to student achievement, then it's something that we're not going to do. So just a little bit about the district. Our enrollment has declined 16% the last 5 years. You can see from the numbers there that we're down to about 4,900 kids. We're down 1,000 kids in 5 years. There's a lot of reasons why. We have new charter schools in the area, we have all of the facilities in the area, but we're also losing some of our population. And when we were talking to the city about what they thought the growth rate was going to be over the next 5 or 10 years, and it was about a percentage, 1.5%. The new homes that are being built are not homes that will greatly increase the population. It's sort of replacing what's already there. And so we don't see a large change in growth. We don't see the base, the purpose of the base being changed, where there's some new assignments there. So we're hoping that this is going to level off, but that's what we're looking at right now. So what are some of our initiatives for this year and for next year? There's a lot of mumbo-jumbo word salad that you have in education. So I'm going to try to just tell you what it is without telling you what the three-letter acronym is. But we're going to start off with PLC. Now, PLC is simple. PLC is teachers working together and figuring out what kids need and then planning to give kids what they need. So professional learning communities is a fancy word, and you can read about it for hours, but basically it boils down to that. Teachers working together, figuring out what kids need, and planning to give kids what they need. So we've been doing that for the last 3 years. I was happy when I found out that it was being done in the district when I came here, because it was something I was doing in my previous district. PBIS, Positive Behavior Interventions and Support. We all went to school. We all know that when you got in trouble, there was 2 or 3 things that you got. You got detention, demerit, or you got the paddle. Okay? Those, I remember the paddle well. I didn't get it often, but I got it enough to know I didn't want it. But all those days are done, because that sort of mindset has left us. And what we have is we have to figure out a way to encourage students to do the right thing without forcing them to do it. So you can be punitive in your discipline and reactive, or you can be proactive in your discipline. And you can try to give kids things that they would like to have to prevent them from doing the bad things. That's what PBIS is. And of course, a new math curriculum. I know many of you didn't know this, but we did not purchase resources, materials for our teachers for over 10 years.
Well, I know that.
And one of the biggest things that they wanted was a new curriculum. So we were able to do that in math, and we were recently able to do that in ELA. That's some of the initiatives, and we can go into some detail. I won't bore you with all the specifics. But why is PLC so important? When we were in school, and I say we because I was in school in the early 70s, Teachers acted as if they were in individual silos. You did what you needed to do in your class, and that was it. You didn't worry about anybody else. You worried about your kids because that was your responsibility. What we're finding is that teachers need time to plan. Teachers need time to collaborate, because the information that we need to fix our schools is within our schools. We just need to give people the opportunity to talk about it. So one of the things that the PLCs do is that they give us a structure to use to help kids. And so there's tier 1, there's tier 2, there's all sorts of ways you can look at it. But at the end of the day, what we want our teachers to do is to collaborate more and to break down some of those barriers that they have around their classrooms and interact with each other, because that's the way we make our schools better. And again, PBIS, we're not bribing kids. What we're doing is incentivizing them. We're trying to figure out those things that they like so that we can provide them so that they can then change their behavior. It's much easier for a child to change their behavior than it is for us to change their behavior for them. So we want to incentivize them to make the right decisions and to do the right things so that we're not in a position where we have to suspend or where we have to give detention or something like that. So that's what PBIS is, and it's a lot of work, it's a lot of training. And for those of us who've been around a while, it's a mindset change. Because, you know, how many here have ever been in a classroom, taught in any way, shape, or form? Okay. So you know that when you say, open your book to page 17 and let's get quiet, you expect them to open their book to page 17 and get quiet. And if they don't do that, there's a consequence. Now, we have to incentivize them to do those things so that they all do it and we don't have to worry about providing a consequence after that. That's tough. So I applaud our teachers for the work that they're doing to have that mindset change. And we can skip through the tier 1 and tier 2 goals. Let's talk about the math curriculum. All of us were taught different ways to do math. I remember being taught how to do certain things, and when I sit in the back of classrooms now and observe, I don't understand anything that I see. It is like foreign to me. It's a different language. Just the way that they break down the numbers and add it's all different. But you know what? It's a good thing. And this is something I said the other night. I spoke to the Hispanic Coalition at Chamber of Commerce, and I said, you all have cell phones, right? Pick up your cell phones. Everybody have a cell phone with them? Just hold it up. Let me see your cell phones. Okay? How many of you had to memorize the times table? Everybody? Okay. You have a cell phone. You don't need to memorize the times table. Okay? You had to memorize all sorts of things. When we had calculus, you had to memorize all these equations and all these different ways. A squared plus b squared equals? C squared. Okay. Why do we know that? Why do we need to know that? We will never use it again. How many of you have ever used that in your whole life? Okay? But there it is on your phone. Well, you may be a math teacher, so you don't count. But we have so much information on our phones. We have more information on our phones than the computers that we had when we went to the moon in 1969. In our pockets. So when we talk about what we need for kids to do and the information that we have, it's so important that we utilize all of the resources, and our new math program does that. I was able to sit in on some teacher training this week, fascinated. We had a gentleman who is a teacher, who works for the company, who comes in and trains other teachers to use some of the resources, and it was just great. All the different things that we now have for our kids that we didn't have before. So really excited about that. And we're also excited about the new ELA curriculum because that does the same thing. Lots and lots of resources for our teachers. And we hope that with purchasing these materials that our test scores will increase. Because we have a while to go to get to where we need to be. We are not where we need to be. This community puts a lot of faith into us to do our job. And there's an expectation that our kids are going to get the best And we want to do that, but we have to provide our teachers with the resources to make sure that our kids can get the best. And we haven't been doing that, but we are now, and we're really excited about it. So we are doing science this coming year, and the following year we do social studies. So we will have all of our 4 major subject areas with new resources over the next 4 years. So I'm really excited about that. We also are offering something for our kids to help them make up for everything they lost during COVID. Remember, we stopped school in March of 2020, and we didn't go back until late September of 2020, early October. And then we were out for about 2 months over Christmas, because it got to the point where we couldn't keep our schools open. The county kept shutting them down. So our kids lost a lot of time. So this is the second year that we've offered a summer academy for free to any child in Sierra Vista. Whether they attend Sierra Vista Unified Public Schools or not, any child can go for free. It's 6 weeks during the summer. It's an all-day program, Monday through Friday. We take your kids, we take your grandkids. You don't have to worry about them over the summer. It's like they have school. Last year we had about 1,000 kids participate. And it's not just remediation, it's also enrichment. So it's all sorts of neat summer camp type things that kids can do on top of math and on top of ELA. So this is the second year. We have enough money to do a third year next year, so we're going to continue it until we figure out a way to pay for it again. And something neat, we were able to receive some monies from the federal government because of COVID. And we have used those monies to buy curriculum, to pay for summer school, and we're also using that to pay for renovations to our library. This was the first time I was in this library. I was next door in the museum, but I've never been in a library. It's a beautiful facility, but it doesn't look like a traditional library, does it? I mean, it's got a cafe, it's got conference rooms. You don't just see stacks of dusty books. Well, we wanted to make sure that our libraries in Sierra Vista were similar to this, with it being a media center more so than a traditional library. And so we're doing a lot of renovations, a lot of paint, carpeting, redecorating, so that the kids can walk in and it'll be a place where they want to learn and they want to do things. We're not getting rid of books, but we're taking a lot of the books that we have and we're putting them in digital form. So you have a lot more room when it's on a thumb drive than when you have a stack of 50 or 100 books. So we will still be providing the books. It'll just be in a digital form. But we have 4 of our schools who won the competition, because before we gave out any money, I said, I don't want to just give you money so you can paint your walls. I want to make sure that you have a focus and that you have a plan to turn this into a 21st century media center. So 4 of our schools won. Town and Country and PDS will receive about $200,000. I'm sorry, Town and Country and Village Meadows will receive $200,000, and PDS and Machuca Mountain will receive $100,000. And we are in the process of making those changes now. We should have them all finished by January. And of course, thank you, thank you, thank you. I always want to make sure that when I speak publicly, I thank this community for providing one-to-one technology here at Sierra Vista. This pulled our fat out of the fire during COVID. There is no way we would have been able to get through COVID unless you would have, and because you invested in this school district with the bond a few years ago and provided one-to-one technology, we were able to get through COVID. A lot of communities didn't have that and struggled. We didn't. So thank you. And I want to remind you that it's not just a fancy typewriter. It is a tool that our kids use, and because the way they're doing curriculums now, because how they're doing ELA and math and science, the curriculum is linked to the computer. So a lot of the work that they're doing is done on the computer through the curriculum. So instead of using a lot of textbooks, it all is downloaded to them, so they have it right in front of them, and they can take it home or they can use it anywhere they want to. So we're really moved into the 21st century with this. Thank you as a community. And let's talk about the cliff. There is something that happens with kids around 3rd grade. It's called the academic cliff. And for some reason, kids fall over that cliff and are never able to recover for the rest of their educational career. So what is the cliff? You learn how to read in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. You learn the skill sets, phonemic awareness, everything else that you need. Starting in 4th grade, you read to learn. And all of the textbooks, all of the curriculum requires you to know how to read for you to be able to read at your grade level for you to be successful. So if you have not learned how to read by 3rd grade, it is very difficult for you to do the work from 4th grade on because you have to read to learn. And so we, with some of this ESSER money that I was telling you about that we received from the federal government, have started an elementary intervention program focused on kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, and providing elementary interventionists in each school to work with those kids who are not on grade level, to get them up to grade level, so that they can have a seamless transition from 3rd to 4th grade. And I think I've covered a lot. I hope I didn't take up too much time, but I'll be happy to take any questions you may have. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You mentioned the enrollment decline. How does that impact the monies that you receive? How do you handle that?
It has a negative impact because we base our budget on ADM, and ADM changes like the wind. We get 2 ADM reports. We get one after day 40 and one at the end of the year. We make a budget, which is a big gap, and we try to figure out how much we're going to spend. And then come October, the state recalculates and tells us, well, you don't have that much. You only have this much. And so we have to redo our budget in October so that we can get through the rest of the year. So instead of saying you have this much for the whole year, quarter through the year they say, we're going to change your budget. Take money away from you, or in very few cases, give you more money. So it has had an impact, losing 1,000 kids over 5 years. There's a lot of ADM monies that a few years ago, under the previous superintendent, there were some budget cuts that needed to take place, so that I think we had a $1.3 or $1.4 million deficit that had to be removed, and that was done. We have been very fortunate, and I'll say it over and over and over again, that we have had this government money come in that allows us to do some of the things that we could not afford to do under our normal ADM budget. We just wouldn't have the money to pay for the curriculum. For example, the math curriculum is about $1.5 million. ELA is about 1.4, 1.5. We would not have had that money because that money comes out of our capital budget. And the state has cut capital budgets over the last few years, and we just don't have it there to spend. So we're only able to do this because of COVID, in a way.
You talked about the bond briefly and the one-on-one technology. My understanding is it's all done. What do you think was the greatest benefit other than the technology to the teachers and the students in our district? We had a lot of stuff going on, 28 million.
A lot of stuff. We purchased school buses. We did renovations to our schools. We built multi-purpose rooms in 2 of our buildings. HVAC systems, a couple of roofs were done. A lot of additions to the high school. A lot of things were done with that. So I would say all of it, because we needed all of it. And it's greatly appreciated. It was I came in at the tail end, so I wasn't there for the original planning and to decide what needed to be done. But $28 million was a substantial
Well, it's a 5-year process. And would you say everything is completed, sir?
Everything is completed. Everything is done.
Yeah, well, clap for that.
And I want to thank Mark for the work that you have done with this. I know you sat on that committee for probably the entire time. Bless you.
Thank you. There were some interesting folks on that committee, and that's all I'll say.
That's our always. I just, some of my background, I'm from Texas, retired here, and I worked with, I was a coordinator of PLCs, of professional learning communities, and PBIS, and students in the classrooms. Thank you for doing those, because they do work, and they are effective, and they do help the kids. So I applaud your work in getting that to the schools. Continue that.
And working with K-Kids at Carmichael this year through the Boys and Girls Club, I love the simplicity of the message. Be safe, be responsible, be respectful. They know it, they get it, we use it. It's like magic. I mean, it's so, I never knew what, and coming in as a volunteer, you don't know what all the school's goals are. You don't know what to even, focus on. But that just made it, every school was the same. And they all had those banners.
What's cool with that is that the kids get to decide what their goals are, what do they believe in. And so it's not the teacher saying, this is what we're going to do. It's usually the kids get to decide. And that's what makes it theirs. And the incentive is like, hey, you're not being respectful.
Oh, they watch each other.
They watch each other.
They do.
It's peer pressure, and it's positive peer pressure. Because the class wants the incentive. And if the kid's messing around in the back, they don't want him to mess it up for everybody else. So they're going to encourage him to do what he needs to do. Other?
Just one more. And this is just a real compliment to the tech program, which is very effective. I spent a week down in Ecuador, and all the children that I met had Chromebooks as well. And that's third world country. And it was amazing for me to see those kids try to show mom and dad what's going on in the techie world. And then they were busy over there while we were visiting in a home, say, two boys were out there on their computers trying to finish their homework. But mom and dad had very little understanding of what was going on with it. And then they would show mom and dad, well, this is what we do. And they're kind of blown away. So it's really neat that we got all that technology.
On top of that, I want to make sure I share this. We applied for and received an additional grant from the federal government to purchase 2,500 more computers to give to kids to take home permanently as long as they were part of the Sierra Vista Unified School District. So these are on top of what we already have, but they go home and it's for those kids who don't have access to a computer in their house. So we were able to do that, and we had to shell out some bucks to do it, but it was well worth it because now every home in Sierra Vista every home of a student in Sierra Vista should have access, permanent access to a computer.
I'm impressed by the fact that my grandkids are going to be smarter by the time we get to sixth grade than maybe I am right now. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Dr. Holmes has already signed our register, our ledger, and we have assigned for him a small book, which is a token of our esteem, that he will sign and dedicate or designate to go to a local school's library. Now, which school would you like to send it to?
Well, the last time I sent it to Carmichael for a particular reason.
You don't have to do that.
So I'm going to do it again.
We have some paperwork to do, just fill in the back, sign your name, and we will get to Carmichael on your behalf. All right? Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I'll pay you later.
And Dr. Holmes, make sure that you go to Project Graduation, because what you saw last year is nothing compared to what the real thing is.
Oh, I'll be there.
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
oh, and if you also would need, if any of you would like to be drivers to help pick up the food for Project Graduation, let me know, because we have to have people to pick up the food, because I'm food chairman.
All right, so let's get this baby wrapped up, all right? Yes, sir.
Well, just as a follow-on to Dr. Holmes, sir, for the last 59 years, this will be the 60th, this club has sponsored what they call an honors recognition event. we've converted to an honors breakfast, and we're going to have that in May the 14th. We do that. We honor the top 20 students at Buena, and we select one top student from each of the other schools in the area. And just to follow on that, to remind these Kiwanians, those that we've got 8 signed up, we need payment, $18 a person. And if you're going to be attending, I need you to let me know so we can put you on the list. Also, scholarships applications have been turned in. I've picked them up, and we know there was a very low number this year of applicants. I think a lot of it had to do with COVID and awareness. We tried to get a hold of the schools and make sure the students were aware through the website or just through notification, through advisement. But I think also there was a big loss this year because Don was kind of restricted from going into the at Buena and working with the Key Club on a regular basis, and he encouraged students to apply. But I know I appreciate his efforts there. But we'll be presenting, putting out scholarships for $500 a piece, as you talked about.
Yep.
We'll be announcing those before long.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a lot of work too, by the way. And if you haven't seen it yet, even if you're from a different club, I invite you to come see what we do at our honors breakfast. It is the event that brought me into the club, so I can't underscore it enough. It's the reason I joined Kiwanis, was that particular honors breakfast. So, all right, so let's wrap this up with a review of the calendar and a few other items that we had. No birthdays this year, or this month, excuse me, no Aries that I know of. Please.
We forgot to wish ourselves a happy birthday last month. 65 years since you're a Vista.
As the president, am I supposed to pay for that? Yes. So typically what you'll do is you will also, as you age or have anniversaries, you will donate also to the club. A number associated with that in dollars. And, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I'm just saying, wish ourselves a happy birthday.
Yeah, we should. Okay, so next meeting will be a board meeting on the 9th for board members. On the 12th, we have our next meeting here in the library, where we'll be happy to hear from Judge Lindstrom, who's going to give us an informative talk on Bitcoin. I always mess up. I want to say Coinbit, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the dyslexia in me. Bitcoin, which is more than just a currency type, it's also an investment type, and he's going to explain the nuances to us. I, for one, have stayed out of that market because I don't understand it, don't appreciate the volatility of it, don't know what it's going to be when it grows up. But I'm hoping to get some good information from him and am encouraged that he is a SME, subject matter expert on this, and will enlighten all of us to allow us to make our own choices. So I encourage you to be here for that. Honors breakfast follows closely afterwards on the 14th, which we just got a primer on. And then we'll have our noon meeting. Again, I'm trying to have that here. How did you like your lunch? So this is a win. This is what we're going to do again. I know some people would rather there also be adult beverages here. Okay. I'm not going to read the rest of that because it's more than a month out. I will remind you that there are some other fun things like the Community Spouses Club is having a golf tournament coming up on the 2nd of April. I have a little flyer, a small, tiny flyer about that up here. We've got on the 7th of May, the highway cleanup coming up.
May 7th.
May 7th.
8 o'clock.
That's what I just said. Thank you for making sure it was clear.
I love you too.
I want to remind those of you who have these letters to give back to those who donated for the Bunko night. Please don't sit on them and let them lounge in your luggage. Send them out to those people who could participate and reinvigorate the joy of having them be a part of that. West Fest is this weekend, if you don't know. Big deal down at the West End. Going to be a lot of fun. Pam and a lot of our local vendors will be down there. I will show up late for it. I understand they're going to have live music too, and adult beverages. So I don't know if I'm selling to the right crowd or not. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to go visit the entrance of the library. They have a calendar of events too. Some of these are quite a lot of fun. And this whole complex has some great things going on too. But pickleball, which I didn't know even was a thing until I saw it played, and I'm like, hey, I think I can play that.
Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah, so consider those things as you exit the building today. So we review the calendar. I will read the quote of the day. Patriotism is when love of your own people comes first. Nationalism is when hate for people other than your own comes first. And that was penned by Charles de Gaulle, a French statesman. I love you guys. Thank you for making the time to visit with us today. I know a lot of you have a busy schedule. Hey, I have to go back to work too, you know. And this is really very meaningful to me to see your happy faces. So let's end with the Kiwanis Pledge. If you will please stand. If you don't have it, it's written in front of you. You can read it right off the paper. As our country's flag signifies purity, valor, and justice, may we as true Kiwanis exemplify those virtues as we serve the children of the world.
Okay.
We've got more handouts over here on the table, all their information and such.